to my channel, Dr. Ruchi's Masterclass. I'm an educator and I provide leadership and mentorship training for young people, whether you're a college student or whether you are a working professional or anyone who wants to grow in life. Especially on this channel, I make videos on financial investment and saving, on how to have your own financial goals and planning and how to achieve them, and so many other useful information on how to have good financial discipline and how to grow financially in life. So friends, if you're here for the first time, please do click subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be coming up with a lot of interesting videos for you all on this channel. So friends, have you ever asked yourself before you decide to have that car of your dream, or you want to buy the latest iPhone model, or you want to start a business, but somewhere you're getting stuck and confused on where and how to start, and whether you should take loan or not? Well, if you're looking for answers to all these questions, you have come to the right channel because I've made this video especially for you all to share my own experience on how I was able to clear my loan and EMI on time and how I'm able to maintain good credit scores. So friends, without any further delay, let's get straight to the point. These are some of the criteria based on my own experiences that you need to have in order to decide whether you can take loan or not. The first criteria is to have stable source of income. Because once you start earning and once you have your own financial source of income, it becomes much more satisfying to pay off your EMI with your own hard-earned money and your own hard work rather than depending on your parents or your family members or your elder siblings. Why I'm saying this is because I know a lot of people, they really want to have the latest iPhone or they want to buy the latest techno gadgets, but they always want to be dependent on their parents or their family members or their siblings who are earning. And the problem with this is that once you start financially dependent on someone, it will become very challenging for you to achieve financial independence early in life. So it's always advisable to have your own source of income. Before you decide to take a loan, it's always good to start earning first or to have a side income of your own if you're a student or to have your own business because these days lots of young people they're starting their business especially online because there are so many digital platforms and so many options. So yes, the first and foremost basic criteria is to have this kind of financial independence, to have your own source of income, to have your own stable income before you decide to take a loan. The second criteria is no family obligation. Well, personally for me, since I'm not yet married and since I don't have kids, I don't have any kind of like financial burdens because of family obligation. And it's very important that before you decide to take a loan, just make sure that you don't have any kind of family obligations, whether it's from your spouse or whether you have to look after your younger siblings or your old parents, because it's all about prioritizing your wealth and money. And when you decide to take a loan, it's very important that you don't have any other kind of financial obligations and burdens. Because as I mentioned again, taking a loan, it's not difficult, but paying off the loan, paying off the EMI on time, that's the most important criteria. Because you need to maintain a good credit scores in order to have good financial goals in life later on. Because later on, if you want to take more bigger loans in future, you need to ensure that you are maintaining a good credit score. The third criteria, and also one of the most important, is to have good financial discipline. So when I say financial discipline, it does not really matter whether you are earning less or whether someone is earning more comparatively. Let's say if someone is earning 1 lakh per month, but let's also say that another person is earning 20K per month in a place like Dimapur in Nagaland. Let's just consider, for example, now, just because the first person is earning 1 lakh, it does not mean that the person will have better financial discipline than the second person. The situation could be in such a way that the second person has a better financial discipline, and if he is able to maintain that good financial discipline, even in the minimum salary amount that he has, then when we are looking at the long term, when we are looking at the long term prospects, the second person will grow financially in life, whereas the first person, even though he may be earning more than lakhs, he can easily go into financial debts. And I can tell you by my own experience, I do know a lot of people personally, those who are earning more than lakhs per month, but they're easily going into financial debt. But I also know people like who have started from very humble beginning. They have started with very small earning, very small amount of salary and income, and yet they are growing so much financially in life, and they are quite financially independent and settled. So yes, it is always good to have a good financial discipline. But the question is how? Let's consider an example, a Mr. XYZ. Let's say his earning is 20K per month. Let's say out of this 20K, he has to pay 5K for housing rent. So this housing rent, I'm just giving an example based on the market rates in a place like Dimapur. The rent can be more than this, also it can be less than that. But let's say just for an average, let's consider that his house rent is like 5K. Even if it's more than that, we can assume that he has flatmates, or he is sharing his apartment with his friends and he's splitting the rent with the other flatmates. Apart from this 5K, let's also assume that he has taken some kind of loan. It can be for business purpose, or it can be for his personal usage, or any other reason. But let's assume that because of this loan, he has to pay 5K every month as EMI. So now out of this 20K, 10K has already gone to pay off his rent and for the EMI. Now, out of this remaining 10K, this will be a hit and miss situation for Mr. XYZ. If he is very careful with the money, if he has very good financial discipline and regular budgeting habits, then this 10K will become a huge amount for him. But for some other people, this 10K it's also nothing, because anyone can spend off this amount in just few days of shopping, or if you have, let's say, drinking habits or smoking habits, and this amount can be easily wasted in just few days. So as I mentioned again, it's all about prioritizing your wealth and income. So let's go back to Mr. XYZ. Let's say that out of this 10K, he has already divided this 2K for his savings. So he's already invested 2K somewhere. It can be in his SIP, or it can be in mutual fund, or it can be in anything. But he has decided that out of this 10K, he's going to invest this 2K. Now 10K minus 2K is 8K. So out of this 8K, let's say that he has to spend 2K for his mess fees, which includes like buying all the grocery items like rice and all the daily expenditure. So this is for one person that I'm talking about. So now another 2K gone. So out of this like remaining amount, this is around 6K. Now 6K for some people, again, this can be easily spent off in few days, but for someone who has very good financial track records of saving, planning, and good regular budgeting, then 6K can become a huge amount. So let's say for Mr. XYZ, he knows that he has to manage with this 6K for the rest of the month. So in one month, there are 30 days. So if we divide this 6,000 by 30, then this becomes like around 200 rupees per day. So let's assume that this Mr. XYZ, his target expenditure is to spend only 200 per day, because he has to manage with 6K. Otherwise, he will either go broke, or he will have to use his money that he has separated for saving. But because he does not want to touch his money for investment and saving, he wants to manage with the remaining 6K. Well, the big question is whether it is possible or not, because what we can see is that many people, they're not able to spend beyond within this amount, because in today's day and age, I think that most of us, we're not even able to manage with 500K per day. Minimum expenditure, it always becomes 500K for many of us. But if we are really careful, and if we are really skilled with our financial budgeting, then yes, we can easily manage with even 200 rupees per day, because I have done this in the past. I have done before, when I want to save certain amount of my income. So I made sure that I spend only this much of amount in one day. So what are the steps that you need to follow in order to meet this criteria? The first and foremost is that if you're someone who is into regular drinking and eating out, or who has habit of like chain smoking and all these things, the first and foremost thing is to slowly and gradually do away with all these habits. Because the one of the problem with us boys and men is that when you have to go out for drinking and partying with your friends, most of the times with girls and women, what I can see is that they always try to contribute equally. But for men and boys, you will always see that there's always that one guy who always contributes with the rest of his friends, and most of the friends, like, they don't really care whether they are contributing or not, and also like it's easier for them to forget the next day and don't return back the amount. So what we can see is that if you're into regular drinking habits and all these things, then it's very easy to spend off your money, especially if you become that guy who always has to contribute for the rest of your friends. So the best thing that you can do is that you gradually and slowly try to stay away from this habit. Best of all, you have to start, maybe you can start avoiding your friends. I know that like this sounds harsh, but that's one of the only options to do in this time and situation, because in the future when you're financially broke, nobody is going to come and help you out. So once you're able to maintain this criteria, then it's time to have your own daily financial budgeting record. So what I do is that I have my own diary where I write down all my daily financial expenses. So this way I'm able to keep track of where my money is actually going to, and also I can find out which one is the maximum source of my expenses on daily basis. So if I'm keeping my daily expenses limit as 200 per day, I'm once I start writing down all my expenses, then I'm able to understand why is my daily expense coming more than 200 and what should I do in order to keep it less than 200. So let's say suddenly if I have to go and eat out with my friends, then obviously I will have to spend more than 200. So, and I'm not saying that we should always stick to spending 200 every day. Sometimes yes, we have to spend time with our friends, we have to go out, and also any unpredictable expenditure, it can come any day and any time. But at least when we are maintaining this daily budgeting records, we can always keep a track of where our money is going extra, and this will teach us, this will motivate us to be more financially disciplined, to be more careful with our money. So let's say that I've spent certain amount in going out and eating out with my friends. Then next time I may cut down on this budget, I may cut down on these expenses. But if you're someone who is eating out regularly and who is like drinking and having all sort of habits like smoking and all these things, but and if you're not maintaining any daily budget and expenses, you will not even realize where all your money have gone. I mean, you can just imagine, for example, if you just have to go to any cafe in town, then I think the minimum expenditure that you can expect is to spend maybe like 400, 500. So if you're doing this on regular basis, then in, let's say, if you're going like almost every week, almost every weekends, then at least like you're spending like 500, 600, or more than that every time you're going out. So easily you would have spent more than 5,000, 6,000 on going out and eating out. Or if you're someone who is so much dependent on takeaway food delivery and all this stuff, then you are spending a lot on these unnecessary expenses. Let's say, for example, if you want to buy a pork for 1 kilo, then pork 1 kilo, it's like 350 rupees. So this, like for one person, this can last for I think like 2 or 3 days. But if you have to eat out, if you have to go to any cafe or eat out, then I think that at one time you are spending that much of amount. But if you're depending on your own home cooked foods of your own, then you're saving much more. So this way, when you're maintaining your daily budgeting records, you can keep track of where your money is going to, and it will always encourage you to be like more financially disciplined. So this is just like one simple example that I'm demonstrating in order to understand like what is financial discipline. Along with this, you can also do follow some other steps which I've already mentioned. Like for example, if you have regular habits of drinking and smoking, slowly and gradually you can cut down on these habits And also you can include this as part of your daily expenses, because once you start analyzing your own daily expenses, at least like you will have that kind of, it's like an alarm clock, it's like a reminder that okay, you have spent enough, now it's time to cut back. So at least that kind of self guilt, it will come into you, and that's the start of having a good financial discipline. Apart from this, what we can do is that we can cut down on all the unnecessary entertainment expenses. For example, if you have like all these like Netflix subscription, if you have like a game subscription and like so many apps, God knows, like which you may not even be using all the time, it's time to cut back on all these expenses. Because honestly speaking, like we may not use like all of these. We simply subscribe to all these entertainment features, but most of the time we don't use all these things. So you can again like this look back and introspect on your own all these like entertainment subscription, and you can cut down on all these expenses. So yes, these are some of the examples that I've just given as examples in order to have good financial disciplines. So these are some of the criterias that one needs to fulfill before deciding to take a loan or not. And based on my own personal experiences, I followed like all these steps, and because of which I don't have much problem in paying off my EMI on time, and because of which I'm able to have a very good credit score. And this will also allow me to have to apply for more better financial loans later on in the future, and to have a more better financial goals in life. So with this, I hope that my video has been helpful for those people who are looking for answers to all the questions concerning whether they need to take a loan or not, whether it's for business loan or whether it's for personal usage. If you have any problems and doubts, then please do comment down below so that I can check on it and I can come up with like more useful informations on all those questions and issues. And also you can check out on my previous video in the last in the last video that I've uploaded on my channel, this regarding my experience of taking a car loan service in Dimapur. So yes, you can definitely check out if you are someone looking to take car loan or not in the future or now. Yes, you can refer to that videos. And and with this, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who is watching the video. Hope that my video has been helpful to you all. Hope to see you all in the next video and to come up with more interesting videos. With this, once again, thank you so much and good. Hope to see you all again.